Okay, good.
Perfect. It is 9:01 on the 2nd of September. I'll call a regular meeting of the Dolores County Board of County Commissioners to order. If everybody can stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hope everyone have an enjoyable long weekend.
Yes.
And stemming from our agenda workshop at 8:30, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Nope.
Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as submitted for September 2nd, 2025?
I'll second that motion.
A motion from Commissioner Yeoman to approve the agenda as submitted for September 2nd, 2025, and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
And I'm yes as well. Agenda is approved. Reviewing expenditures. Do I have a motion to approve expenditures?
I'll make a motion to approve the expenditures.
Second the motion?
I have a motion from Commissioner Davis to approve expenditures and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm yes as well. The expenditures are approved. And we have 3 sets of meeting minutes, a set of regular meeting minutes from July 7th, 2025, special meeting minutes from July 10th, and special meeting minutes from July 14th. Any additions or corrections to the minutes as circulated? A motion to approve our minutes as circulated.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes, the regular meeting minutes and the 2 special meeting minutes, July 7th, the 10th and 14th.
And I'll second that motion.
I have a motion from Commissioner Yeoman to approve the July 7th regular meeting minutes, July 10th special meeting minutes, and July 14th special meeting minutes, and a second. All in favor of approving minutes?
Yes.
And I'm yes as well. Minutes are approved. 9 o'clock agenda items. West Lower Cemetery new board member. I see 2 here. Mr. Steve Garcher and Ms. Alma Fleming.
So we put it out there,
Okay.
we got no one. That was no letters of interest that we received back from anyone. Alma talked to me about it and said she would be willing to do it if no one else stepped up. And then Steve came in one day and also said the same thing, he would be willing to, so they just verbally told me I didn't get anything in writing from them, so I said, you're on. If these guys will approve you guys.
So we can approve both of them.
So that will give us 4. Do we need to make one of these guys an alternate, Dennis? Okay, I'll write those for you.
Don't have an issue for approval. I would like even a brief statement for each one of those written, just for our record, for interest still. I feel like that could probably be done after. I'd like a brief statement, a written statement from each one indicating their interest.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be even done after
Yeah.
where they agreed to join verbally, but a written statement at some point. Yeah.
It's good to have.
Just for the record, yeah.
I make a motion, we approve Steve Garcher and Alma Fleming to the West Dolores Cemetery Board members.
So. I'll wait for a second. And you guys.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. I have a motion from Commissioner Element to approve new members to the West Florida Cemetery Board, Mr. Steve Garcher and Ms. Alma Fleming. Any discussion? Dennis?
So, the bylaws were rewritten I believe in 2021. And we had designated in the bylaws, 3 board members with 1 alternate. And so I think let's see what Margaret wants to do in terms of,
So one here will have to be an alternate.
well, and maybe maybe 2 of the existing would prefer to be alternate. Margaret, I have with that.
Not that one. And then this.
But this is what we adopted.
Yes,
That they adopted.
yeah,
Margaret, there's been a. There's been a motion, the second, we're in discussion on the appointment of the 2 nominees.
okay,
And do you have any information as to who would prefer to be the alternate? Because it does, the bylaws do say,
one alternate.
3 board members with 1 alternate. Who are the other 2?
Stacy Hankins and Steve Davis.
I would think that you would want to keep, Ms. Hankins and Steve Davis on
Yeah.
as they know the history here,
Yes.
so. You wanted to pick one of the ones as an alternate.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. One of those is
But someone's always too busy, you know.
Yeah,
People make her
that's fine. Okay,
And she'll be okay with that.
I'm sure.
So,
You have them sign up.
for example, we can modify our motion, and move to approve Steve Gardner as West Dolores Cemetery Board member with Alma Fleming as an alternate. West Dolores Cemetery Board member.
Thank you, guys.
And with that, at some point too, if we could just get, even if it's a brief written statement from each one of them, for interest, just for a record. Perfect. Motion a second, all in favor?
Yes. Yes.
And yes as well. Steve Garter has been approved as the West Dolores Cemetery Board member with Alma Fleming as a West Dolores Cemetery Board alternate. Good. Moving into new business. Ormiston Fund Resolution number 9-25-01. And looking at it, resolution number 09-25-01. Would be a fund transfer from Ormiston. $500. Strickland County Treasurer transfer $500 to social services.
Is this the cancer? Yeah, okay, there.
Third.
Yeah, go for the third. one.
Yes.
Yeah, or cancer. I make a motion to approve the resolution number 09-25-01, transferring $500 from the Clara Ormiston Trust Fund to the county treasurer, transfer to social services.
Second motion.
The motion a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. Resolution number 09-25-01, transferring $500 from the Clara Ormiston Trust Fund to the treasurer's office to social services. Passes.
Is that gonna do?
New business public health grant discussion.
That's on the retention grant. remember?
Okay.
We've sort of, Julie came and talked to you guys about it,
Mhm.
earlier, and this is just formally approving those funds for that purpose.
That we discussed.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes,
just to continue using that grant for the purpose.
Yes.
Same purpose, just
yes.
allocated differently.
Yes, everyone equally.
So what's the grant?
It's,
Name of it.
there was a COVID holdover grant for retention of persons in the public health sector.
Mhm.
And is that a grant fund that's just been sitting there dormant?
And I think it expires in 2027.
Correct.
So,
Can I ask how much is in the fund? You know,
that's true.
okay.
You should probably know. Many numbers slightly.
Mhm.
We think we get more budget.
That's why there's too many numbers now. If we have it.
Do you have any callers that should come over?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
maybe I haven't been paying attention on that particular issue. I might have been doing something else. So this is the consideration is to use some of the retention funds that are sitting in sitting dormant at the present time as a transition payment to certain employees over there.
Yes. Yep. And I think when it's dormant with it too, I mean, it's a grant that's been active and has been utilized.
Right.
It's exceptions.
And reallocating,
As opposed to other grants up there that have just held a line item and not been used, this one's been allocated out, so. So we can circle back to that.
Yeah, she'll be right over.
Okay.
So set it aside for a second or whatever.
So moving on to another item of new business, Region 9 World Jumpstart Program. And we had some discussion with this. This is not the program that is hasn't been renewed. No, there was some confusion about that, Margaret.
yes, Shaq had us totally confused the other day, so I reached out to Laura and asked her, so this was the email. I just figured it would be easier for you guys to just read our little email stream, so you knew what we were talking about. Yeah. If it's a little confusing in itself, but I think it's a little bit helpful, more helpful than what Shaq told us.
And currently, do we have any eligible businesses for this
A
program?
rural jumpstart, I think they're new businesses, but I don't really truly understand this real well either.
Because it looks like,
Mhm.
I was wondering if you'd like to have the resolution updated or
Right,
wait until there's an
Mhm.
interested / eligible business
yes,
for the program.
so they have to be new businesses from what I understand, so right now we don't have any new businesses that are. I think there were some that utilized this when they first started. But we'd have to reach out to Laura and ask her which ones were.
Was Thirsty Bird this? I think that was part of that.
Maybe, and maybe Kyle, you know, Kyle did some stuff with
We-
Region 9.
We have that we had that little tiny trailer business for a while. Remember that one? They built little
Teardrop trailers.
teardrop trailers.
Mhm.
In Morris County?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's on the road going to Bradfield's.
Yep.
As he's faced, I can't tell you what his last name was.
I think that was Region 9.
Yeah,
So
so.
it's limited by statute.
Mhm.
I mean, there's the resolution, it's not expiring. There's no sunset on it.
I didn't think so either when I read the resolution, so.
They got another one.
I mean, I almost feel like a letter of support affirming this resolution number 10-20-01 would probably be more appropriate than anything.
Yes, they're actually on it. Put them on it. Okay. Yeah.
I don't have an issue with it.
If it's not expired, like you said, it's.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't really see any action to
Okay.
take with Rural Jumpstart because it's not gonna change.
and I can just reach out to Laura and ask her to keep us informed if anybody reaches out to them and wants this or reaches out to us, then we can,
December.
yeah.
Yeah, I shared an email that the resolution expired December of the same year, but it was adopted in October. I don't see that in the, so.
Do we, don't mind, do we, Region 9 is sometimes, I think underutilized in Dolores County. In the past, there's been times when there was a big push, and there were pamphlets out and all that. Is there a pretty good presence, to let people know that they can apply for these kinds of funds?
Has to chat, how, or to get the word out, to hit, work on that, communicating with businesses, but I think it would largely be generated. Probably out of this office being advertised and then, Chamber of Commerce, if not existed, where to be advertising, getting it out, but other than going to individual businesses and word of mouth.
And Kendra's on, we might ask her about the bean, if they utilize the bean.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me, Kendra?
Yes, sorry, had to unmic. Yeah, I reached out to Heather and another gal there, gave them the information. They send me press releases and I share press releases, but as far as advertising, they haven't done anything.
And it's, I mean.
I'm welcome to do that and also cover it as a story, like to, if there's, a business utilizing it and it's interesting to the public, so.
Probably be the best avenue, I would think, is just, cover a story with the programs that Region 9 offers. And hopefully it will reach some new businesses or people considering that in Dolores County.
I can remember years ago when Kyle started his, it came in the mail, remember that?
Mhm.
It was a big write-up when he went growing on the farm and it went into detail about.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that? I can remember, I think it was a flyer they sent out.
He was on Region 9's cover.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
That's what it was.
Was that what it
So
was?
we
Okay, then
had
that's.
Region 9's cover that year.
So we sent it to all the family, cause we're cousins, all the family was so proud of Kyle.
Sure, and I think, yeah, just over the years, I mean, that, I don't even know what it is, next to the old fire station there,
Oh, the bakery?
The building?
that was Region 9.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, that was a Region 9 one.
Could I just also say DCDC was, they always go to their meetings as well.
And I think Thirsty Bird was
I
already
think
with
so,
Region
too.
9.
There are several, there are actually several in the Ross County, Region 9.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Over the years, a lot. Some successful.
So with our resolution, I think we would just submit a letter of support to Laura with, Region 9 affirming our continuance with it.
Okay.
Are you guys good with that?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to do a letter of support or just send her an email? After today's meeting, it's up to you guys.
I'll send something from the board.
Okay.
I think that'll be a good middle ground between
Okay.
a formal adoption of something that's already existing and something more colloquial and then
Okay.
Then from the new business due diligence water application discussion, which start. Thank you, Dennis, for looking at this and making modifications and rail lines.
Do you want me to, preface this at all, or?
Yeah, it's a brief summary with it.
Yeah, so this is an application for finding of reasonable diligence, and these, have to deal with our water rights and Disappointment Creek. Yeah, historically, so what happened is, 6 years ago or so, 7 years ago, the feds came in and they, had this program where they were going in and applying for in-stream flows, across the state for any kind of, water rights that were available. And what it was is they were trying to capture the last of the water rights to allow for, preservation of some fish species and things like that. And they gave the county the heads up, hey, you may want to put in, for water rights before we do this. Otherwise they're gonna be gone. And so it was actually fairly generous on their part to give us the heads up. So at that time, we put in for water rights, on Disappointment Creek. And mainly they were for, pulling water out of the creek for, road maintenance and things. So the water rights that were granted, they were granted absolute condition, or absolute status. As to some of the uses, including the road watering, and then they were granted as conditional water uses. For things like recreational fishing and other uses, augmentation of other water rights, things like that. When you have, conditional water rights issued, then every 6 years you have to put in a due diligence, application, and then they renew that conditional use. And then ultimately, if you ever use those water rights for the conditional use, significantly, then you can apply to make those absolute, and then they're yours forever. Assuming you continue to use them, otherwise we can consider them abandoned, but a little far flung there. Anyway, so our 6 years is up, as part of preserving, the water rights. We're doing this application, and we brought in Kim Purdue, who's a water attorney and work with. She put together this diligence application. And it requires our chair to affirm, its accuracy and have those conversations. So there you have it.
Perfect. Thank you, Miss. I think this is in line with our strategic vision of wanting to increase our industry through recreation and also use that to augment, our roads, municipalities. I think this fits the bill with where I'd like to see the county headed anyway. Perfectly in line with that. Make a motion to approve the application for finding of reasonable diligence. A motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes as well.
And then if we, one of the things that could occur is, the division could ask for more clarification on something. We could also get opposition from people that hold water rights. And if it turns into something that's gonna cost money and, litigation and stuff, then I'll make sure that we talk to you first.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Julie, thanks for coming up.
You bet.
Yeah, so, we have our retention grant up for discussion and then more possible action with it. So correct me if I'm wrong with any of this, but this is a grant that we've had, it's COVID holdover grant for retention for public health employees. Expiration is 2027, so when that's gonna sunset. Currently it's a grant that has been in use. It's not like some of our other grants that have just held a line item, but this one been currently in use for the past few years.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And remember, this one is called
It's through OPHP and it's big, which stands for Public Health Infrastructure Grant. So it will go through, like you said, 2027. And then it has been used for that, for retention of employees. When it was first set up, it was, set up along the lines of anybody who can help with public health. So, I don't know how many people total, but it includes the employees at public health. 3 here.
People that interface with public health as far as duties, and it's broken out by a percentage of duties as it aligns with public health,
Yeah.
and that's how it's all allocated.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how that was set up, at the beginning, but that's how it's been used, yes.
Okay. And all of that's tracked differently.
Thank you.
Or, I mean, it's all broken out differently, just so. Cause I would anticipate right now in 2027 that we would have to anticipate that wouldn't be, maybe removed.
Yeah, and I haven't, most of those will be because they're part of the core services. So I'm pretty sure that will stay, as of right now, I've heard nothing saying that it would phase out. So, but yeah.
We'll hold the fact that it's probably gonna be renewed, but we'll anticipate it not.
Right. Right, I mean, yeah, absolutely, with grants, that's what you do.
Yeah, and so RBC that funding's been utilized, and it would just be dispersed among the employees. Broken out as that percentage. Okay.
And then, I mean, Margaret and I started doing budget work, so we had talked about that one. So I don't know how, if we need, that's just something we'll have to all sit down and see moving forward. How we set that up now that there's just 3 people in the office.
Okay, 3 people and then interfacing with Montezuma County and
Right.
what that all looks like.
Right, and then don't forget, because right now, that's what I was working on before I came over here, that mini grant.
Yeah.
Doing that partnership. So
Which is that 50?
yeah, that's what I'm gonna ask for. Now, I know last year, they asked for 50 and got 11, they being Montezuma County. But I think this one will be set up a little different because I'm gonna do nursing and a little admin in there.
Okay.
Not for admin for us, but admin for them.
Yeah.
So if that comes through, I think that would be better used with Montezuma County than the retention, but we can see.
Okay.
We've got either one.
I would think that the joint effort be a stronger application, potentially more funding.
Because we're
Just too optimistic, but I feel like.
Because anytime that you join, because I had a really good visit with a lady from, the state, and she explained to me that there are lots and lots of partnerships in rural Colorado with, like us is a great example, not having the availability of a public health nurse, but they do. So
this
those are
isn't
very
something
common.
new and crazy
No,
that's went on.
no, even in Arapahoe County, they have.
Oh,
a big
really?
one. A lot of your bigger counties, they join forces with, availabilities there that fit their needs. So she said it's very common that we're not doing anything new and unusual. That's probably strengthening in this case.
Yeah, I would think it would probably be more in line with best practice for counties, especially rural counties.
Yeah. So.
One comment on the, I'm gonna call it a redistribution of retention grant funds in the public health, department. In the past, a concern of mine and a concern of Lenore's has been when you grant people raises based on, grant funding, provide people raises based on grant funding, there needs to be a clear understanding that can drop, and that you are agreeing that your increase in salary or pay is not permanent. And so what we had done previously is had Lenore just do an acknowledgement form that here's a raise to your income. This is based on grant funding. You understand it's not permanent and may be revoked at any point and then have them sign it. So if you're gonna do that, if we could continue that practice, I think it helps solidify in people's minds. You know,
Absolutely, yeah. Which I'm guessing you've probably got an agreement, with it already with that specific grant, it would probably just be modified.
Right.
And just as sort of like a pay raise, here's your pay raise, sign here, you understand it, maybe it's grant dependent.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how it was
Yep.
stated.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if we.
And like you said, I mean, written in there that it could disappear at any point in time, but have a conversation that this is gonna be the sunset. Anticipate it being renewed, but here's kind of a hard
Right.
date that it may not.
And I think it's good for everybody to keep in the back of their mind, if that goes away, you are dropping significantly in your salary.
Mhm.
And I think as when we start planning on 26 budget, we need to really take a look at that.
Yeah.
Some of us are old enough that it's,
What are you looking at me?
because I don't know why my eyes were over there, because, we might be okay, but I'm concerned about some of the younger, like in the office, I'm concerned about the younger ones. Thinking, oh, this is here forever, so I think I think it's important that we're very strategic with that.
Yeah, and I really think it needs to be discussed every year with that renewal, I mean, continuously. I mean, that's kind of a
It's like,
somber negative thing to keep bringing up with it, but that way you don't get,
it's like playing
surprise.
Monopoly, you land on the wrong thing and.
yeah.
Anybody young thinks everything's gonna be there forever.
Well, and see,
We all did.
that's always been my fear with using grants as salary. That is a very, I
yeah.
think that, I mean, moving forward, I think we need to be very realistic with that.
In all of our trainings, our new commissioner training, that was one of the, wasn't it? That they pinpointed on over and over again.
Yep.
Our first meeting we had,
Well, in
that
2
was what they
years,
pinpointed on.
you start living to that
Yeah.
money level, and then all of a sudden, if it's gone, you might have loans, you might have, so I think. Yeah, that's just something, and I mean, 26, 27, that's just
It's.
2
it's
months,
gonna be-
that's 48 months, basically, so, yeah.
And I mean, with the state being in flux with their budget, and trying to work things out too. I say things are probably a little bit more in limbo than.
Yeah.
Traditionally.
So, can we bounce back to, are we good on that topic?
And you'll get with Lenore.
We did.
Oh, you already did with
On the letter or the
Or you guys need to sign.
agreement?
I can get with Lenore on that.
All that's
Lenore,
broken out,
Yeah, Lenore did the breakdown of the,
And then, so she's gonna put together another update, I'll talk with you.
yeah, I can go visit with her on that too. But we've made no plans for 26. Because Margaret and I just started
okay.
that situation.
That-
On the OPHP, is there anything else I need that you think I should put in there? Because you and Bobby, Laurel and I've had limited emails back. I copied you on those, so you know.
Yeah.
Do you think what I'm thinking is on the
Yes.
right track?
Yeah.
Would you throw anything? Is there something I'm not thinking of? Because that's always the tough part for me, is like,
Get into it and like, oh shoot, I wish I would have included that in
well,
my.
I'm almost wondering, and I don't know if it skews it, but I mean, FEP is way down.
Mhm.
It was the one, grant that got cut probably the most significantly.
Yeah.
And with like fires this year and things that were going on, we do not have much PPE in the office.
Mhm.
Like, so I don't know if I should put some in there for
Okay,
that, or
PPE is what now?
personal protective equipment.
Okay.
I don't know if I should keep that. Shall I just leave that piece out?
I would believe, personally, I think that piece would stay out.
Okay. Because we might have a demand, I mean, for masks, we might have a demand for. I mean, I don't know, but
You never know.
No.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Might be
I,
circulating.
and maybe, emergency management might have enough funds there to tend to that piece.
When
So I don't know, like,
I know that department is experiencing some loss with some of their grants, so I don't know. I wouldn't want to rely solely on that with emergency management and some grants that can cut there, so.
so just stick with the admin and the nursing piece.
Something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we already have an IGA in place is gonna work wonders with that grant, because it's not like we're establishing, it kind of already is. So. All right,
Okay, I think that's it, as far as action, I think just probably the green light to move forward in the discussions with one on one.
all righty. Okay, so hopefully I'll see you this week. I'm just kidding.
You will.
You gave me a
Some more
headache.
fun stuff.
I know I do. I know you will. All right.
Any
thanks,
more
guys.
dates?
She,
Okay, was that?
this was her answer to my question. I said, how are you feeling? I'm feeling good. That's it. So
My
I
answer
think,
to the question was, I'm over this.
yeah,
I'm over this.
that's basically what she was saying. So should be pretty quick.
My goodness.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yes.
Thank
Oh
you.
my goodness.
See ya. Bye. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
And do have some old business here. Checking with Shayla for ADA compliance. Have you heard anything?
I actually did this morning, just this morning, I apologize, but I sent Trish an email to make sure when we start putting these Zoom links on the website, if there's anything we have to do for ADA compliance.
That the link will be accessible.
Yeah, so other than that, I don't really have any, doesn't sound like there's
And
a whole lot
everything you
going on.
talked, it worked pretty good,
Yeah,
the first.
I felt like it did. I felt like it will give you like a word for word, like
Dictate.
person one,
Right.
yeah, and it will do it like that, or it'll give a summary. So, and you can do either one, and it's pretty nice, cause then, I mean, there's some words that don't show.
The different voices, is that why?
It
we do
must,
that?
because it changes.
Oh, this,
Yeah,
like that, that's
yeah,
crazy.
technology is insane, but
Yeah.
other than that, I think that's, and I haven't got an answer back from Trish yet.
I do it wrong. Yes.
So we're in compliance.
Can we get it?
As far as I know, yes, I've been with our website, and yes.
Well, they come in.
Right there.
Just shred this.
Right here.
Yeah.
It's what you're
Yeah.
doing.
I'm not, well,
I
it's
think I had
the
some.
website, so I
It's-
guess they could probably get on and check, I don't know, but. I mean, I checked in with Trish quite a bit on it to make sure. And I think all our stuff has been remediated that we've submitted. Some of the stuff getting on there is being a little bit slower, because she is checking everything. But it's working out.
Have you ever been reversed?
I have not, I would like to, she's very nice.
You know, I use, people you always,
Yeah, and SEPA, the gal at SEPA said that they recommend her and they use her a lot, so. She's pretty good.
Have we had any requests for any remediated documents or anything that you're aware of?
Nope, not yet.
No, I didn't think we'd had.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, no, so that's good.
For ADA. And policy is still in draft stage and probably not ready to present, talk about Zoom recording is
It's good to go.
good to go, working
Okay.
well. So.
Okay.
Did you, is that done through a formal action by the board to switch over to Zoom recordings, or are you still in that test phase?
We tested that, we had a trial run at our end of month meeting, to see how it would go. Seemed like it worked pretty well.
So
I
it
should
did.
looking at the transcription, that was a pretty good test too, because we had a room full of people, I mean, quite a few different people talking. Was it able to break it out pretty well?
Yeah, it was, yeah, it's amazing, honestly.
apologize, I forgot, I was going to have, each person, when, they began speaking, to introduce themselves in their department, just to provide a break in that
Yeah,
for you, and I
but it
forgot.
broke down when a new person started talking, it gave a new, and then it
Like
gave,
distinction.
also you could do it in, where it just gave you a description. It may just kind of gave that,
Your summary.
yes, thank you, so. I thought it was pretty good, the recordings looked good, I mean, you could replay it. Good.
So you just would have to listen to it, it doesn't, you can't print what is being said?
I probably could, yeah, but I can still use it like I did with the recording. To go back and
Listen.
check myself
And
on the
verify.
minutes and and verify what was said in the notes and stuff, and this way it does it in printed form, so it's kind of nice. As long as it reads it well, but
Do you feel like, at some point you'll take formal action, or do you feel like this is just gonna, it's sort of the same thing we're doing, which is,
I mean, the end result's not that different with the information that we're getting and how it's being retained. In fact, I think it would just be bolstered with the link to the actual meeting when we record it. But as far as our recording of our minutes, the process isn't really changing, just using a different platform rather than the handheld recorder. Moving that over to Zoom, which I feel like is probably better.
that's what I wonder. I mean, like I said, with the two that have just happened recently, and we ordered a new recorder, if we don't need it, this is saving right to the cloud. It's not even just saving to our computer.
You're relying more on, I'd say, probably established software in Zoom than hardware with a recorder.
Yeah.
For batteries and
Yeah.
the physical
And
manipulation.
and then, if it's on the website, then people could just go with the link.
Go ahead.
so for retention purposes, it's basically retained in the Zoom library that we pay for.
Yes,
And then do we know how long it stays there?
we can pick. So there was 90, 120, or until we say to get rid of it. As I guess, as long as we make sure we keep the account. I don't know after that, I mean, if something happened to the account, but.
And then, so are you also downloading?
Well, that was a question I asked for Trish, how that worked. This morning, but I haven't heard back from her. I just got thinking about this morning for the Zoom link to go on the website, then does that save that? Does that download and save for forever?
That's just a link.
Or, well, but I mean, however we put it on the face or the website page. I don't know what that entails. I'm sorry. I'm asking, but I don't know yet.
So I think before we move forward with our formal action of this is the direction we're gonna go, we use it and then also just have our backup until we can troubleshoot it and make sure that it's actually gonna make it go as far as the intentions.
So I think, so my only concern is, do we lose control if we don't say backup? And we rely just on the Zoom membership.
I'll look into it.
Should we be thinking about can we dump that into our 365 online cloud?
I would think where all of that would, I mean, it'd be all retained there.
Let me ask.
Downloaded.
Let me find out.
Yeah, I just don't wanna wait up to 5 years and realize that,
We have 50 links that you click on it and there's no data in it.
well, I wasn't even thinking that bad, but thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I was. So let's make sure we're doing the right stuff.
You still have to
Yeah,
have the hard
yeah.
copy no matter what, correct?
No.
The minutes.
Oh, the minutes, yes. But the
Minutes.
recording you only have to have for a year, correct?
I think we're gonna have to run that by Lenore, cause she's in charge of our records retention.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it was a year on that and 90 days on. If there was an executive session.
Exactly, 90 days.
I think this is a good step to, I mean, definitely ensure that everything's being maintained, especially with our recorder backup until we can troubleshoot it.
Yeah, makes it more sense.
Well, I'm gonna give you an example of why we might want to keep recording longer this year. And one of the things we do in our land use code applications that we issue the LDA, I started putting in there, whether you want to continue to it or not, I say that the entire application, basically the applicant is bound by all representations made in the application and in public hearings. And so I just sort of suspenders it to the point, and I would like to have that available sometimes if we had I don't mean to pick on UV, but if UV made some representation that said, absolutely, we're gonna take care of that,
Yeah,
I'd like that.
absolutely.
So I think maybe if I could be so bold, maybe suggest a workshop on the Zoom recordings and retention policies and things like that. At some point in the future, after you guys decide if it is working.
Yeah.
Yeah, a month or two, I mean.
I was gonna say, I mean, we will have, after this end of month, we'll have 4 meetings with it. Having workshop in October, diagnose anything, and then, I mean, we may want to run more meetings through it in October before we take action, but yeah, I would say at least give it to the end of September with the trial.
And so we won't put these on the website until we've taken action and know how it all works, correct?
No, I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying the records retention is, and the backup is really the two things that I'm concerned about.
I want to make sure it's right internally for us. 'Cause I mean, as far as everything public facing with it on the website, I mean, that, I think that's okay right now.
Basically what it is.
Yeah, for our retention.
Yeah.
And even if the retention policy says we only have to keep it for a year, you know, there's nothing that says the board might decide to keep it for 5 years, you know.
Perfect. So, they continue our trial and figure out a little bit.
Thank you.
Linda, how's it going?
Nice.
So perfect timing. So, yeah, if you're ready, jump in.
Well, for you guys today, so I apologize in advance. It's probably, I need those two if you don't mind.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's back here.
So, when I read the order, the first line in the order said, I've set it for a hearing, and then a couple lines below it said status conference, so I just assumed it was for a hearing. I don't know what, you know, so
Well, you weren't the only one that thought it was for a hearing.
I think Mara did too.
Yeah. We need to have conversations. We need to see what,
So, we are, the board has decided to start, Zoom recording, and, so you will be on Zoom.
Yep. Yeah, you're our first in person today. So, no.
Wow. Good morning. In front of you, we'll go over our usual financial stuff, and then I'll get into these other pieces for you. So in front of you have record of proceeding from September 2nd, today's meeting. We are going over the July 2025 financials. The second page there is the expenditures year to date and our balances. You'll see that we're over in adult protective services, which is not uncommon. We typically go over in APS just because our budget there is, our allocation there is not very large, 32,000 a year. And that covers two people's salaries plus other adult protection expenses. So, yeah. And historically, we, through the state's closeout process, were made whole there, but because of the differences in fiscal years, it looks like we're overspent. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. Same thing with our aid and the disabled line there. Any questions about those expenditures and where we're at?
On you, aid to needy disabled, EDD, aid to needy disabled, what's an AD?
It's a navigator program. It doesn't actually exist. It ended.
Oh, okay. I
Last
just-
year. Yeah, navigator is what that stands for. So we used to have a program that would help individuals who were on the aid to needy disabled program get connected with an organization that could help them file for disability services. The state then kind of took that program back and gave it to a different department, so it's not through the Department of Social Services.
Just in the $4 since the state census probably like sort of space.
Yeah, it was just like a rollover from the cost of that program, so. Any questions? The next page is what will go into the Protect Journal for publication, just showing all the, where we're at with our program amounts and the checks that were written for the month of July. And then the last 3 pages there are, includes the ending balance from the end of July and all of the checks that were written and cleared from July. When you're ready, I would just ask for a motion to accept the record proceeding from today's meeting and the July 23rd.
Make a motion to approve the record of proceeding for September 2nd, 2025, as well as the July 2025 financials.
And I'll second that motion.
Having a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes. Yes.
And I'm yes as well. Record of proceeding for September 2nd, 2025, as well as the financial documents for July 2025 been approved.
Thank you. Okay. Next, I just wanted to go over our caseload numbers with you, so you all have an idea of where we're at. We currently have 543 cases for our eligibility programs, which includes adult financial, Colorado Works, employment first, medical assistance, SNAP, and workforce development. We have 42 child support cases, 8 adult protection cases, 2 child protection cases, and 2 child care cases, one of which will be ending as of this month due to fraud. Yeah, so you may or may not hear something from that individual. Those fraud investigations happen out of Montezuma County because we don't have someone in office who is trained to do those fraud investigations. So, what happens if they do a fraud investigation, they do a finding, that person gets a notice, and then depending on the amount of money, they either have to pay that money back or that it's taken out of their benefits. Yeah. So, and unfortunately, it was a pretty substantial amount of money. The good news is that we can then move someone from our wait list onto the permanent.
Okay.
So
It's like that would be hard to do in this day.
it is,
Like who
unfortunately,
have the fraud?
yes and no, because our programs have such simplified reporting aspects. You know, we have to, that the program rules state that we have to take those client statements for face value. And so until we have evidence contrary to that.
In the sense until proven
Yes.
guilty, I mean.
Mhm. Yeah, and honestly, this particular fraud investigation happened, because that fraud investigation, that investigator wasn't actually even looking at Dolores County cases, they were looking at someone else's case. And in a roundabout way, heard about this individual who was committing fraud, and then they were able to open an investigation. That makes sense. So,
Just contract with Wilmington County for their investigator, and then
yeah,
they lead on it.
We do not have an official, like, agreement. We don't pay Montezuma County anything for that service. They do it as a courtesy to us,
Okay.
because of our technical size. So essentially what we, if we were just to say, oh, hey, we have a fraud situation, this looks like fraud, we could reach out to them, we could reach out to La Plata. It would just depend on who has availability, possibly Montrose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm curious, is it somebody in their office that's cross-trained for that, or do they have a standalone fraud investigator?
They have a standalone fraud investigator.
Okay.
And counties, so program rules, like, states that we have to have someone in the office who fraud can be reported to. So I'm that person in our office. But none of us are trained to do those investigations. We just never have, frankly, because they happen pretty few and far between. So it doesn't make sense for us to, I feel for us to put the time and effort and expense into that, because there's, you know, hourly or yearly training hourly requirements, so, like, they can anywhere from 35 to 40 hours a year to be recertified, and so I just don't know that it's in our benefit to do that.
Is there a funding opportunity for the county?
There's not. Yeah. It doesn't. Fraud is not a allocation line item. We don't get any extra money from the state for that.
Would just be what could be recovered with loss.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's not something that like goes to the district attorney's office and felony charges fly out.
It can be, depending on the amount of money and depending on, the program. So Medicaid and food assistance, for instance, if there are cash benefits, so anything that goes directly to the client, if that makes sense. So food assistance, they get their food assistance on their card. A cash benefit, they get their cash benefit on the card. Medicaid, they can get paid directly to do Medicaid transportation, all of those kinds of things. And so if there's a payment to the client themselves, then there could be a charge through the district attorney's office for financial exploitation, essentially, is how that would work. And because of the federal program, it's federal charges, not just state charges. But there has to be a certain amount of money. I think the threshold is like $50,000. So anything above $50,000 would get into the state.
Oh, so it's pretty high.
It's pretty
I mean, definitely in comparison to just your like CRS schedule.
Right. So anything below that, what happens, like I said earlier, is that that repayment either happens, they're either kicked off of the benefit program for a certain period of time. It could be, 5 years, depends on how long they were like.
See, I think that's
to
a
look
really
back
big
here.
deal. That's stealing. I mean, if you stole $100 from you're gonna get charged a DA. That should be an elevated, and it doesn't sound like it is.
It's not,
Mm.
yeah. All the cases.
My
you
personal
see-
opinion, that's all.
all of the cases that you see across the state for, employees that have committed fraud or large amounts of.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing that information. I want to do that. It's,
Yeah. In this situation, it's not a good thing in general. But it does open up a slot in our childcare program to put another family on, which I think is good.
Yeah.
So,
kids on the wait list, for childcare, where are we at?
I believe we only have one family on the wait list.
Okay.
Yeah, so, it'll be, with this fraud investigation, there'll be 2 kids that are moving off, and so we'll have enough spots to move 2 kids on.
Okay.
So I'll have to check with Anna, I'm not sure who we have on our list currently, but,
Okay.
depending on the family size, we might be able to add 2 families, or
Mhm.
just one family, depending on who gets.
Good.
Any other questions about that? No. We do have an medicine fund application that I need a resolution for.
Yep.
I don't know if you're
Yep,
ready.
that's, and
Sign.
it's just, for the number, 09-25-01. The amount of $500.
Thank you. Sorry, this is to write down the resolution number. Should have been more prepared.
Oh, no, we're good.
Okay,
09-25-01. We've got the signed copy here, of a record with Shayla and then the record.
great, thank you. Business. I gave to Linda, I believe if you still have it, Linda, there was an MOU with Broward County for our hotline. It's a little preemptive, it would begin January 1st. I'm just trying to stay ahead of the game a little bit. This is something that we do every year. It is for our child and adult protection, like after hours number. So anyone can call that 1-800 hotline number to make a report. That call then gets routed to us if it's not, law enforcement, it can call us directly. Typically medical providers call us directly. So it's more, community members if they want to report something after hours or on the weekends. There is a charge, I believe, of $32 for any. They give us a certain number free. So any, I think it's like 10 reports for APS. Anything over that,
$32.
$32. Same for child protection. As far as I know, this year we haven't gotten it for those.
Estimated for child 75 and estimated for EPS is 8. Yes.
And they take those numbers based on the calls that they get, I think, throughout the previous year or 2 years.
Yeah, average of it. Okay.
Yes, it's not any different than it was last year, and I just got it this morning, so for this.
Oh, that's all right. I just wanted to tell you, that's the exact same as last year.
Yes, and while he's doing that, I'll shift gears if that's all right. We received an award from Governor Polis on our SNAP title list. measures, so I just have that here, if you guys want to.
Oh, congratulations.
Um,
Didn't see that on here, but I had cookies. That's some.
yeah, not cookies for the.
Not Snap, yeah, not for Snap.
Yeah,
Something.
so this is because of our timely processing of our food assistance benefits. We met a 95% threshold. And all of the counties across the state of Colorado did that, so it's not necessarily unique to us, but we did really good. So they had a announcement at the governor's office and got this nice little award. I'll put it probably in some sort of frame and stick it off for our folks, so.
On your SNAP benefits, so, me, whatever, whoever. A resident of Dolores County, you cannot go like the Montezuma or Lafayette and apply, you have to apply. So you don't have people that live in Dolores County that are going to Jefferson County or different and applying for SNAP, correct?
So you can apply, you can get an application and turn an application in at any social services office. However, that application will get routed
Back
to
where-
us.
Back where you're,
eventually.
the county of your residence,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, and then for some reason, again, because of program rules and things like that, let's say there's some weird emergency and our office is closed for some reason, but someone needs a EBT card, they can go to any county office and request an EBT card.
And they would have everything statewide, like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's one state system, we can go in and look at cases from other counties. If you have certain access to do that. So we do that quite often for our Edgar residents. They'll come in and often our Rico residents will put a Telluride.
Yeah.
Travel, yeah.
So that was exciting. And then just some additional updates regarding the HR1 requirements. So not this December, but next December, which is great, December 2026. They push things out a bit, which is wonderful. Medicaid eligibility redeterminations will start happening every 6 months. So that means that every 6 months, my staff will be working with individuals to redetermine for certain ex parte cases. So ex parte cases, read them off to you because not sure that I would be able to tell you all of them. But they are programs like our programs, which include like in-home healthcare. So individuals with disabilities who are on a buy-in program who have in-home health. There are some of the adult and aging programs. That would be like adult financial programs, things like that would have this 6-month requirement.
And it's not, I mean, a set 6 months, you're not doing them all in June, it's as they came in, and it's 6 months for each individual person.
That's what we're hoping. So, but the state will kind of decide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when that's gonna happen. But yes, we're hoping that it will be on the day that they applied versus the date that the state sort of decides
You have to.
everything is due. If it's on the state date rather than the application date, I can only imagine that would be very complicated. Currently we have around 494 individuals
On
on
Medicaid?
these particular programs that would require a 6 month.
It'd
Also,
be much better if that could be spread out
Yes,
for you guys.
Yeah.
so it's not every single person on Medicaid is
No.
at 6, okay.
no,
It's just certain programs that like you were.
certain programs require the 6 month.
Is it feasible that the state would make it
Cause isn't that time consuming? You have to have those clients come in
for
in person.
They don't necessarily have to come into the office, but they do have to provide income statements.
Yeah, and you have to review all that.
We have to review all of that paperwork and approve their eligibility cases, or, deny their eligibility cases every 6 months.
So that's how many did you say?
494.
That's a lot.
As in individuals. So
Yeah.
I shared our caseload number with you earlier, which is
Uh-huh.
around 500.
Yeah.
So that just gives you an estimate of, those are cases, these are individuals. So just clarifying too. Yeah, it's a lot, and it will be a lot of work for staff. I only have 2 people who are running that program, those programs right now, so essentially their workload is going to increase by another half, because they're gonna be doing these redeterminations every 6 months.
Is there anything we can do as a board to support you guys in that process?
I think so right now, but if there is, I will definitely let you know.
Okay.
If you hear.
So I know we're probably not gonna get it, anything changed with, but if it could just be a process, piece of it, that would be better for your office.
Can you allocate like your caseworkers, cause there's not a lot,
No.
I can't cross train
um,
on those type of things.
Unfortunately, we can't, because there are security requirements for the different programs. If you have, I have an exception because I oversee and supervise all of the programs, so I can have access to. This is called CBMS for the Medicaid and eligibility programs, and I can also have access to our child welfare and our APS programs. However, those systems talk to each other, so if you manipulate something in one system, it can affect the system over here. So state does not let you have dual access unless you have an
Mhm.
exception. So. A little complicated. Yeah. Could make things easier. So that's really all I had, other than the MOU with Powers.
And that was fine. I remember that from years back.
Is there anything that you guys want from me?
Anything with the secure transportation?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. So this individual Rod from Access reached out to me. I was very unclear as to why he was reaching out to me specifically. He just said that Access provides secure transportation. He wanted to know if there was any licensing requirements through the county for Access to be able to provide that service to us. I told him I was
Now we're talking Access Health, right?
Access Health
Yeah.
Systems, yes.
Carrying,
So that would be for individuals who are in,
like, is that like the
Mental
local
health.
crisis unit?
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Were
they're
they-
in
were
a
that
mental health crisis.
When
Mhm.
did that start?
They met,
Because
Are you talking like an M1 hold?
well, I know this, they provide the service, but I know for transportation, it was always on Dolores County resources to transport. So,
they mandated that the county adopt regulations for for the licensing of secure transport. And I thought it was redundant with the ambulance service, but they just made us do it, and this was back in 2021, 2022.
do you know if this is transported anybody in
No.
the sheriff's office?
Nope. They don't have.
They always call us, so I'm not sure.
They don't.
I just, I just said I would be the warm handoff, person. I said, sure, I can look into that for you and, let you know.
I think he called my office also, and I told him that he needed to contact our sheriff's office
Okay.
and you,
Okay,
so maybe that's where he got.
it's fine. I mean, I don't
I
mind that he
don't know
got my
either.
information. I just wasn't sure what to tell him because my experience has been this one. That's the
That's
secure
it.
transportation
Yes.
policy.
But
Neither one of them are, I mean, she doesn't know about it,
So,
so.
but what we did was, and sorry, it's been a few years.
Ask them.
What we did is, if you look at page 6, section 3.6. Any secure transportation service holding a valid license or permit from another county within Colorado or from a neighboring state. Providing said out of state secure transport service holds a permit or licensing required compliance with this policy or substantially equivalent out of state. Secure transport policy. So that's an exception to the license requirement. We just assume that no one is gonna come and make Dolores County their primary licensing point. They're always gonna be like somewhere else in the state.
Yeah.
So we thought this whole thing was a waste of time. And so if Access holds a secure transportation license already through Plata County, Montezuma County, or anywhere else, they don't need to give a.
We'll let you know.
Melinda.
That's okay with you, unless you want me to push.
Well, I mean,
I think he sends it to
Would
you.
they be more inclined to increase operations out here?
You could ask them. I don't know.
I mean, there's nothing barring them from operating out here right now with this,
Uh,
but
I think
if
that
they would be more apt to come out and transport and be more engaged in Dolores County, I could see us doing something like that.
I can certainly reach out to this gentleman, Rod, is his first name, I don't remember his last name. I can reach out to him and see, would encourage that,
Yeah.
we would be happy to maybe license you if you want.
Legally, I think they're specifically exempted from needing a license, and then I think, the other thing we need to be careful is that we're stepping on ambulance toes. Because I think in some sense. Is it? Yeah, is there a crossover?
I mean, my thought is specifically for like mobile crisis unit being able to transport somebody in that specific area. Not so, I mean, not so much the medical side of it with the ambulance, but that's where I was thinking. Just maybe just too narrow of a law enforcement lens with it, but yeah.
I know that I certainly know that we've requested that they come out with mobile crisis unit. I don't know that we've ever had success with that, maybe.
Personally once, they came up once.
Okay.
In 5 years.
Okay. I mean. It's great.
They were asking more than once.
So, I don't know.
I was just curious, no.
I know that they're coming out to Rango for that particular service.
Geez, the one time, I think they had maybe been in Montezuma County, just came
And
over.
just came over.
Yeah,
That was
that may have
lucky.
been yeah, I think it may, but, okay.
And we'll reach back out to Rod and let him know that he's not even licensed specifically for Dolores County.
So long as the.
So long as they are licensed somewhere else in our area.
Which they should be in Montezuma and La Plata, or just La Plata and La Plata.
He did send me some paperwork and I don't remember if I passed it along, I apologize. He did have paperwork from Montezuma, La Plata, Delta County, and Montrose. But they service our whole area, so. I'm sure
And then
they're.
sort of San Miguel, San Juan.
Which is interesting because. Yeah, maybe I did custom, I might have custom drafted that because we didn't necessarily want to license these people if they're already licensed.
Yeah. So, but we didn't see much of what I have in my. Do you remember doing that? I mean, this little fire, they're probably operating another.
Yes, that would be my guess.
Yeah.
And I think I'll have to go back and look at the paperwork that he sent me, but I think that Montezuma also said something to the effect of this agency is licensed out of LaPlante County and we're
Really, where the
certifying.
mothership's
something.
at.
So,
Okay.
okay, thank you. Is there anything that you guys need from me?
No.
You got a warranty shirt, Russ.
I'm so
That's for snap, please.
Okay.
That's fine. Is that a rule?
We're making up one. Resolution.
every time we get an award, we need to bring food.
Yeah, that's not.
Got it. CCI conference, are you all planning on attending?
Discussed it.
When is it?
December 1st through the 3rd.
Got anything? Did you get something on?
I just saw it this morning.
Oh, that's.
But
I'd love
early,
to.
I'm sure early registration closes sometime soon.
Was that the one we went to, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, the one in December?
And it should be
In
in
December?
at the Westminster location.
Yeah, there was summer and then winter.
Oh, that was CTSI.
You went to
that he said.
CSI. I don't,
New commission rotation with CTSI, and then we went to the summer conference with CCI.
and then there's a
Wait, wait.
winter conference
Well, we
in
flew up, is it the day after we were sworn in?
Yeah, that was the new commissioner orientation too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For CCI.
Then I went to the last
Yes.
CTI, the Western.
Yeah.
Regional, it was good. Really good. Very.
You might check the CCI website.
And the newsletter I think using and stuff, or it's not this.
Yeah. But typically, I think that the early registration, I don't know, if that even ends on the 30th of this month.
Oh, really?
So, the winter conference, I think, is a little bit shorter timeframe cut off for early registration.
And it's already September, crazy.
I know. So, I just wasn't sure if you all were planning on attending and, I do historically, I do typically try to go to that.
As opposed to some.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of stuff up in the air that, conferences.
Yeah. Well,
The summer was good.
for me, winter conference is just a little bit more robust, summer conferences that laid back.
Oh, is that?
So,
Yeah, I want to reach out to, some of the CCI, their commissioners or CCI reps, and definitely see what's gonna be going on, any legislative proposals at conference, anything like that. I'm not sure how deep into it they go. We'll let you know.
Guys,
I think if there's anything we do to help with, process for that.
thank you. Just feel for my staff. It's just,
It could definitely be work that would be better for operations.
and I think that it may not be as daunting as we think it might be, just with the other work requirements and things like that that are going to be happening. I anticipate quite a few of our individuals losing benefits because of that 80 hours a week that work requirement. So, yeah. Or, I'm sorry, not a week. I apologize.
Say that's a lot.
80 hours of,
No,
80 hours a week would be a lot.
too many people would
Yes.
get that.
Yeah, 80 hours a month. So. I don't know if I got that word back.
So you can frame it, put it on the wall, and then
Yeah.
next year replace it with next year's word.
Next year's award.
Who had it?
I think it's underneath on the right, up your front file.
There it is. This one. Yeah, there's your memorandum.
And then you can have the.
Yes,
MOU.
gotcha, yeah.
I don't know that we ever got a signature on it. That's been one of you, the hotline. Yes, thanks for letting me take up so much of your time today. Sure. I'll see you guys this afternoon.
Yes.
Okay.
What, 1 o'clock workshop? Vested?
No, this is to talk about the.
Yeah.
With the interest.
That's promoted, and we'll move into 10:30, discussing our amended LDA on Lasers Ranch for the Rico Trails Alliance Community Bridge.
If you didn't mind me prefacing this one.
Please do.
Are they, is a representative coming from? Are they on it?
I think we're gonna be okay, you guys.
Nicole is.
Oh,
Yeah, oh, there she is.
Lasers.
hi Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Good morning.
Morning.
So, following the, public hearing, approving the, bridge at the Lazy Rooster Ranch. The, approval was granted subject to negotiation and execution of the land development agreement, which, as this board understands, is the last step in the process, to gain approval. Nicole and myself have been going back and forth on draft, land development agreements. And we did run into one stumbling block, which was basically responsibility for certain things, including basically demonstrating completion of the bridge in permitted condition, and then also in the future demonstrating maintenance and such. There was some discussion back and forth, and Nicole sent a last proposal here just about a half hour ago. And I think it reaches a good compromise. It requires the owners of the Lazy Rooster Ranch to compel either Trails Alliance or the town of Rico to demonstrate compliance. And the previous draft, which is the draft you have in front of you, skip that step of having the owners of the Lazy Rooster Ranch involved in these demonstrations. And so this is, I think, a really good compromise. I would recommend love it, based upon the involvement of the town of Rico in both the construction overview and in the ongoing maintenance, as well as the Trails Alliance group and overseeing the project as well, or being involved in the project, I should say, as well. So this is the clean version, and you will see this is the red line version, and you will see Nicole's highlighted changes that she made in yellow, I believe.
And the, you're telling them, through the easement?
Basically, so the town of Rico is responsible for the construction, ultimately responsible for the construction of the bridge, and also for the ongoing maintenance of the bridge over the long haul permanently, frankly. And that is through a recreation easement that the town of Rico executed along with the owners of the Lazy Rooster Ranch. And so, yes, they had the obligation anyway, but from my perspective, the difficult part was we didn't have any authority over enforcement of that easement. And this now gives us authority over enforcement of that easement through the landowner. So we can now, through this redraft, compel the landowner to compel Rico or Trails Alliance to comply with the terms of the permit. Make sense? Nicole, am I saying that to your satisfaction?
Yes, actually, Jim Ostrom, the president of Rico Trails Alliance, is waiting to be let in. He just texted me, but yes, you did. All we're trying to do here is connect the dots, and this came about because the owner of the property just wanted to make sure that everyone understand it is the town's obligation that already exists under the easement. And of course, RTA has been facilitating and doing all the legwork for it, so. We're just connecting the dots here, and it sounds like Dennis is recommending a sign off on this. And we will do the same with the landowner.
I am.
Do we have number with this, or just name it as the land development agreement with Lazy Rooster Ranch?
So it's actually it's the amendment to,
Number 2.
yeah.
Okay. I make a motion, we approve the amendment to the Dolores County Land Development Agreement with Lazy Rooster Ranch.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
You have any?
Sure.
All in favor?
Yes. Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. Amendment to the Dolores County Land Development Agreement with Lazy Rooster Ranch.
And Nicole, you'll have to publish that. And if you want to get with Margaret, she'll explain how you, or Shayla, she'll explain how, or Amber, they'll explain to you, one of them will explain to you, how to publish that. And that's actually the final stage of the vested rights vesting.
Okay, that sounds great. We'll do that. We do need to get Mike Popek and Alana Karen's signature, I think, first. We'll tell them that this is the deal, and then once and then, of course, in the meantime, we'll be coordinating with you guys to get that published, whatever we need to do. So should I email Margaret or Amber?
Yep, I just signed it.
You can email me, Nicole, this is Amber.
Okay,
I think what I'd like to do is, hold that, what I would like to do is I just sent you the clean version that was presented to the board, Nicole.
okay,
And I would like the Hopex to sign that first, and then if you
okay.
get that over to Shayla, and then I will have the board sign second. And I just want to make sure it goes in that order.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
And then we'll end up with a fully executed document here, obviously. And then that will get recorded with our clerk and recorder's office, and then get sent back to you, and then you'll publish it in the newspaper. Still with me?
Yeah, I heard somebody else starting to speak, but it cut off. But yes.
Background noise from
Okay.
outside.
Okay, gotcha.
So have them executed, send it back to Shayla, and then it's been approved for execution by this board. Our chair will then sign it. It'll get recorded with the clerk and recorder's office. It'll get sent back to you then to publish with the newspaper.
Great. All right. Okay, I've got the order of operations written down here. Thanks so much, everyone.
Perfect, thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you very much.
I signed it and put it in my shred piles.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah. A little color in it or something. You sure you got a clean report? I did, I just signed the clean version. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it went in my shredded pile, so
Okay.
if you're good with that.
Just put their names.
Second,
Exactly. Yeah.
It's Amber.
she came in for the LDA. Oh, sorry.
You never know. I asked her to be here because you never know.
What? Yeah,
And we didn't know we had to figure it out until 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
okay. Perfect. And then, yeah, next we'll, with Mr. Hope, and I think we've gone through our new business and.
We'll take a break.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a minute.
Yeah, we will take a 20-minute recess.
We're outside.
Thank you. Yeah, the time is silly. 10:35. We will recess until 10:55, which point in time we'll open up again. For our next agenda item.
I'll be careful with what I said.
Just like that, yeah, heads up like that, so, it is now 10:55, we are adjourning our recess and stepping back into our regular Board of County Commissioners meeting, and we can move right into our 11 o'clock, with Mr. Hogan.
Would you like me to come front and center?
Whichever is it.
Whichever is
That
best
chair
for
looks more
everybody.
comfortable. You
It
can
was,
sit wherever
actually,
you
no,
want.
if I'm okay over here, I'll stay over here. Thanks for having me. Appreciate the opportunity to come up. I had sent Margaret an email last week asking for an opportunity to come up and have a little time with commissioners to talk about our space here and just some of the things that we have that are continuing to not kind of work for us. Good example would have been probably some of the chaos this morning from the jury trial that ended up in a plea before we ended up picking a jury, so we ended up having a plea in that case and it went off. Random thought came to me a couple weeks ago in the middle of the night, which is sometimes those when your best thoughts happen, I guess, and sometimes when maybe your worst thoughts happen, but this was the random thought I had, was that when Dale Boyd was our county court judge here, Dale didn't have a high level of concern for both his personal safety as just as an individual or as a judicial officer here. He always would say things like, if somebody's gonna get me, they'll come and pluck me off my tractor in the middle of the field. And when Dale left, we started to work with the commissioners here with previous boards on trying to adjust some of our space issues here. And we had, unfortunately, some significant turnover in the last couple of years with our county court judges. We had Judge BOCC for a period of time where we started some of our initial work with a facility under Judge BOCC. Then Matt Margison was here, and then Matt's departed. Now we have Kristen Tarrant as our county court judge here. And our new 2-year rotation for a district court judge up here is Judge Flew. He handles the district court docket up here. He and Judge First will rotate that on and off every 2 years. So Judge First was here for the first part of his term. Those 2 years ended in January, and so now Judge Blue is handling the district court docket. But we still have some of the same concerns for me, which is, and highlighted when we have either large criminal dockets or jury trial, where we have our county court judge like out in the main hallway, has to either use the jail holding cell restroom to be separated from parties, counsel, prospective jurors, which if we have somebody in the holding cell, then the sheriff either has to relocate the person or they go clear one of the public restrooms for our judge to go in. So we end up with this cross mingling of all kinds of individuals we don't want crossing paths, right? Which we've always had the issue with victims, out of custody defendants, victims' families, those things. And then we add in that additional layer of court staff, then crossing paths with them. And those are just recipes for mistrial when we cross those individuals' paths and any type of commentary takes place between them. Like we just run the risk of having unfortunate things happen in those. So what I thought about was, could we take the existing clerk's office where Cheyenne currently sits and reconfigure that into the judge's chamber, close off that hallway that is already really kind of sealed off with a door already, move Cheyenne's office to where the county court judge currently is, and it would be more like a public facing office, kind of like how your clerk and recorder, treasurer and assessor are situated. We would put a counter in the front, glass windows with a secure door on the side so no one can access her private space, but she would otherwise conduct all of her business at the front counter like some of the other offices do.
Cheyenne, you're talking
Cheyenne,
about.
correct.
She sees a lot more foot traffic than a judge does, simply just with
Right.
process. Of the
Yeah,
position.
and normally we wouldn't, other than warrants from law enforcement, we don't really want people interacting with our judges anyway, right? Like we don't want them in their official capacity to talk about say something about their case, or ask about a ruling, or ask what's happening, or tell us something we don't wanna know about their attorney. And so by switching their locations, we could provide direct access to the courtroom for the county court judge to not have to be in the public movement. That common wall we share in there with the sheriff's department where the plumbing's at, which we know we get to frequently, where we would potentially be able to provide a restroom that the judge would have access to both during trial and during time in office. They're not intermingling with anyone in the public restrooms and court securities and having to clear the restroom before we send somebody in. And then Cheyenne's office would be a very similar situation it is now, except it would be directly kind of across from, it'd be a little bit smaller, but it's okay. Right? I mean, I think we can make the accommodation. I went all paperless here years ago, so we don't really maintain a whole lot of paper anything. We have the old original docket books here that were handwritten. We still keep those, but that's just a historical
So
kind
you're
of
thinking
feel
maybe
good purpose.
where
Really.
the vault is, using that as the restroom or the plumbing? I know the plumbing, cause I've had to go in there and turn.
Right, yeah,
over
it's
the
right in
plumbing.
it's in that chase right there. It makes the most sense. I'm not sure about that vault. Other vaults I've come across in some of our older buildings are structural to the building. Like, and I'll use Durango as the example. We have two vaults on the first floor that are currently in the county attorney's office, and in federal court, state court space, we share space over there, a jury deliberation room. We couldn't take the vault out or change it.
I think
because
it's structural, isn't it?
It was
I think
structural
that's
to the
structural,
building.
but that Shine's office also shares a wall with women's restroom up there too.
Right. So I mean, I think we
So
have some
there's some as
options
well.
in there to tap into some plumbing to create that restroom. I probably would wanna see if we could configure that, what would be the judge's chamber enough where I might be able to have two desks, because it has happened several times now where Judge Plu and Judge Tarrant are both here at the same time. And Judge Plu's only option to go sit somewhere is in the jury deliberation room, and we can't sit there when court's in session because then he can't get out. So I would want that office to be able to maybe accommodate two people. The wall that's currently in there now, we constructed 15 years ago. I think I put that up about 15 years ago. Where the kind of the small hallway into Cheyenne's office is. So that is, I know, not structural. We added all of that ourselves. It's something I think we could remove to expand that space. But I just wanted to see if there was any willingness from the county to partner on something like this. It would be, I think, a qualifying underfunded project for this. But I also worry that we may have already taken a big bite out of the underfunded apple. And I'm not sure how they'll feel. Because we spent pretty significant chunk of money getting our design development documents for the building that was proposed next door that didn't happen. And so that was a couple $100,000 that underfunded pushed into that. And so I do have some concerns that underfunded is gonna be like, why would
Isn't
we?
that
spend money?
still available though? Didn't we have like so many years to?
Oh,
For
we
that
can
specific
pick it up
project.
anytime, and I just got a notification just today that there's $3 million available for the next round from
Right.
underfunded.
Mhm.
It's due by September, end of September.
And this September.
So was this explored, these options explored before we looked at a substantial building?
No.
Before?
And it wasn't because you need space in this building for your other elected officials. So I know like clerk and recorder still doesn't comply with state statute on elections. And
So
so,
I mean, this isn't adding any more space for other elected officials, or it doesn't have anything to do with any other elected officials.
No,
Just
the building
wall-
next-
offices.
this building next door allowed for additional space here. That's why it was, when the facility, we had a feasibility study done that both covered the judicial space as well as it addressed the county office space. And in that feasibility study, it determined that there isn't enough square footage in this building for everybody to have the space they need to operate in a manner that's consistent with what their operations would be. So the court, we certainly don't have enough space. I mean, I will say that over and over again. We don't have anywhere near what we need to operate. We don't even have a probation ability to have probation offices in the building, so all the clients that are up here, Cortez.
Well, they come to the courtroom, they met him several times in the courtroom.
Yeah, one
Used
day.
to be once a week,
Yeah,
and then it changed to
now it's once a month.
once a month,
Yeah, but
yeah.
otherwise your services are in Cortez.
For, just for a secondary, quarters for our judge and DCTU. I don't know. You
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
be
you
used.
still have to have them walk up the stairs, because we have this room down, I can show it to you if you want.
Is it not at the end?
It's not at the end,
Okay.
no, kind of in the middle.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I mean, really what we're trying to do is create an office that where the judge can go from the courtroom to a chamber and back without having to be out in the public.
No.
That's
an
what,
elevator.
Well, he could go, when he needed to go back in there, he could go out through the sheriff's office. And would still not be.
are you talking for just like an office for Judge Blue?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Just when there's a county and district.
right.
Judge.
I think that we can accommodate both of
Very
them
rare.
in that same office under what I was coming up with.
Okay.
You know, I'm not, we're not opposed
Okay.
to both of them having to potentially work. You know, Judge Blue will often come up an hour or two before his docket starts. And Judge Taryn may have finished and they both might be in there just either she's finishing up on the work that she
Okay.
did and he's getting prepared for his afternoon docket.
They're not both sharing the same office all day.
No, there is just, there's overlap, but it's not so big that I think we need to address it with other space elsewhere in the building. Yeah, I'm trying to use the existing space we have to the best we can use it.
Which I mean, should be substantially less than the $2 million.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, and the building was well more than that, but I think with grants, I think you would have been looking at about half the county would have been paying half of the cost with the city.
Didn't he anticipate cost for the renovation up here and switch?
Yeah, I mean, so that's my ask is we obviously need to have somebody look at it and see what the cost associated with that is. That was where I think underfunded might be willing. I don't know. I don't know if we're too close on the heels to having just spent a lot of money and not done anything with the plans to then go back and ask for money again. I don't know the answer to that. I'm just being honest with, I'm not sure how it would be perceived. Because we did spend a really big chunk of money that we didn't follow through with.
I think it would be good to get an estimate and move forward with that.
Yeah. Agreed. Or we could look at this one too. He could look at that one.
Yeah, I think, look at options to utilize existing space.
Yeah, if I can keep everybody on the same floor, and you know, for me, the biggest piece for me is putting the judge in close enough proximity to the courtroom where they can move back and forth with a secure hallway and some private space. That would be the best thing for me. Having Cheyenne's office, the clerk's office out in the main hallway is no different than what we would be in any other building.
Yeah.
Right?
Which catches a lot of foot traffic there, that they have to go down away from our other offices. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it would be consistent with how the building is laid out.
Yeah.
And I think there's a way to create some space in there that is workable for her and it works for the public to come and interact and do that forward facing business. I think there's some work to that. I'm not increasing the footprint in the building any more than what we currently occupy. And that's what I'm trying to stay within is utilize the space I have the best that supports our business and provides some level of security for, at least for the judges I have up. Two ways to go about this are a request for just planning money from the court security grant with a loose overview of what we're talking about, or from the underfunded, I apologize, that ends September 30. A brief narrative that basically just says, this is what we would like to pursue and do. And in order to do that, we need some money to have somebody come in and tell us what it would cost to do it, if it's due. That's one way to go about it. The other way to go about it is for the county to use existing internal resources that you have to determine if something could be done with it or not.
What option one?
I do too.
Grant obviously is reimbursable, right? So that grant has always been the same. So what it is if approved for the money, you expend the money, the state reimburses you for the cost, correct? Margaret's all too familiar with the inner workings of these grants. If you're interested in that, I'm certainly happy to put together a brief narrative that would go into the court security grant so that Margaret doesn't have to do it, since a lot of the thoughts about this are in my head and I haven't put them to writing frankly myself either. But I'd be happy to do that and then share them with Margaret. She can share them with the board. But that grant does have to be, it does require in-person presentation in Denver sometime in November, and I can't put my finger on when. It's, I think, the week before Thanksgiving, potentially.
So
That was kind of the one that you were all gonna fly
yeah,
out.
we're gonna go through. I still haven't airline ticket for them.
Yeah.
You gotta use it, you gotta use it.
You gotta use it within a year, I think that's their thing, yeah, buy it now. But it does require an in-person presentation for the board. So a representative, from the county commissioners, and I imagine Judge Blue would also go along. He's done them in the past. And then to discuss what it is you're trying to do.
So could we ask for planning and construction funding, do you think?
Because you wouldn't know
I know
how much.
then you're gonna be waiting another year
Mhm.
before you can get any of this done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why the other option is if you have either existing, I don't know, I believe the contract you had with Reynolds Ash has completely run its course.
And I actually got an email from Brad today.
So it has run its course. I'm not sure what Brad would be interested in. His relationship with the county has been strong over the years. And that's for you guys to, I think, make a determination on if that's an avenue. He has the building already in AutoCAD.
Yes.
Including all the plumbing chases, electrical, and both offices we're talking about. So there could be something that could be done from them. Because we really are just talking about some modification to space. I think Cheyenne's office, converting it to some space for judges is gonna be the larger part of the work. The other part of the work, I've done something very similar in the last couple of years in Silverton with our clerk's office, creating a secure kind of business front with a door on the side to separate where the public comes into and interacts with from the court space. And that was pretty straightforward and fairly simple. And I would envision the same thing for that space upstairs, tying into some of the plumbing for where we're talking about for the judge's office. I think it's a little more comprehensive, but it might be something that Brad may be willing to do for either nominal fee, to get an idea, and then you would be able to go straight for just build money. And there is 3 million.
Yeah.
And I do know that money is slightly at risk for FY 27. I would just say, based on the state's $750 million gap. What they did last year to bridge the 1 billion was a one-time only deal. What they did this time was the governor had the option to only cut within. JBC told him during special session, you can only cut from executive programs. You cannot cut legislature or judiciary. And so if you read some of the articles, what they have done to do that, which are significant cuts to Medicaid, education, in order to bridge that gap, those again are single year savings. So FY 27, they start looking at all money. And so any of these pots of money that have cash status, which both underfunded and court security both meet those criteria, it does put them at risk. So there might not be 3 million next year. It won't be. So you never know. There's no anticipation. You probably looked at what your tax revenues are looking like. There's no indication that the tax revenue for the state of Colorado is going to go up in this fiscal year.
Next year's gonna be tighter.
Yep. So there are some options here. So I don't feel like right now is maybe obviously the decision for you guys. I think there needs to be some dialogue about it. I don't know. If Margaret has the capacity to reach out to Brad and see what his thoughts are on it. We do have about a month. And
We seem to do our best work within that like 2 week time frame.
interestingly enough, this came to me a couple of weeks ago and it underfunded wasn't even in my mind. I talked to folks locally in the 22nd about it last week, which is when I reached out to you to do it, and then the email started coming for
Yes,
underfunded, and I
yes.
thought, well,
Perfect timing, right?
maybe it is, maybe it's not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I wanted to just see if we could have some dialogue about that and how we could at least have some better space for ourselves to continue to do business here. It doesn't expand our abilities for our programs, but it addresses one of my issues, which is just security of some of our judicial officers up here. Yeah.
Okay.
Sound good.
I can email Brad,
Yeah.
ask him if he can get a hold of Eric and talk to Eric about what his space.
Yeah, I mean, if Brad
Space
wants
is
to
like-
reach out to me, I'm happy to just say, this is what we would be looking at.
Draft the narrative and the proposal and.
Yeah, and say, this is what we'll be looking at, really converting, Cheyenne's, that conversion is the other one is fairly simple. And doesn't really require. Basically now where HVAC is already located in a room, nothing's changing in the current judge's office to configure that for clerk's office space. That's just a wall and a secure door, yeah. Yeah, that one's pretty straightforward. The other one, I think requires a little bit of demo and a little bit of tie-in to some mechanical. Cause I do think we would rip out the wall and kind of service area we put in to create that footprint as big as we could to make it work, so.
So it's Fred want us to do.
Okay. I'll write up something for you too.
Okay.
It'll be brief, but it'll be to the point. And then if you decide to do the grant, we'll obviously coordinate on what a presentation looks like. It would be an easy one.
It would be.
It would be an easy one for sure. If we get something from Brad, obviously that would be enormously helpful.
Oh,
And
yes.
if he's willing to do some costing on it,
Mhm.
that it might be best to just go straight for construction money, to be honest.
I mean, that was my thought. I mean, if everything's already laid out and goes over the cost, I don't think that would be a thing. To present that.
Yeah, it would be, that would be, yeah, if you were going for planning or for construction, you still gotta go, you still gotta present for it. Having something that says, we've had our architect look at it, here's what it's gonna cost to do it, here's what it would look like. Those obviously fly.
Yeah, go to planning, present for construction.
Yeah, those always go the best. Yeah, those, when you have something where you say, we're gonna take the money, we're gonna go to work right now, that's always more favorable. That's money that they know they can spend from this line, which spending money from the line protects it down the road for future because we can show that we spend it in counties that have the highest criteria need. Some of the worst counties at the top of that list. So, you know.
Would it be helpful to reference the prior grant and calling this stopgap bridge measure until the county can afford the full expansion?
I think you're probably gonna have to answer questions on it anyway.
Yeah.
To be honest.
It's a pretty easy question to answer.
Yeah, I think it's, I
Can't
think
afford
the commission hasn't changed the membership. So I would say that there's likely gonna be a question like, tell us why you moved from that to this. And that's your opportunity to explain that, financially it wasn't the right time and it's backburnered, but this allows us to put the court in a better operational place.
Well, with security, I mean, our highest concern is security.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and it really, it does allow us to operate. I mean, we're using everybody's resources a little bit better, right? We're using the county's resources with court security as well as our own a little bit better. We're all becoming slightly more efficient and that's good. Any other questions for me? Yeah?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, it's good to see everyone. Thank you for entertaining my time.
Yeah.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah,
We'll be in touch, Eric.
we're back on that schedule again. We were just talking about that too.
Yes.
Okay, great. Otherwise, I'll get something typed up. I'll send it to you. Let me know if you make contact with Brad and I'll be happy to chat with him however you need to. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Eric.
everyone.
Nice seeing you.
Thanks, Eric.
You bet.
Well, there's always something.
Yeah.
I'll just slow down.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Have a motion to adjourn in a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of adjourning?
Yes.
Yes as well. Meeting is adjourned.
Since it was saved. Should be good. Okay.